Hello everyone, this is Tim Off coming at you again with another review for the Nintendo Dads. This time I'm reviewing a game, or I have the honor of reviewing a game from BeautiFun Games, because this is their first Switch title. And it's a game called Nihilumbra. Nihilumbra. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. But what I usually like to do is go on eShop and check out the details there first. So we'll check it out together. Right now I'm reviewing it in the coming soon area. So if this comes out before it launches, you'll be able to pre-purchase this for $7.99. Or if it comes out the day of launch, you'll still be able to purchase for $7.99 and be able to download it immediately. As you can see, it comes out and is playable on May 3rd. It's also going to be available in the other eShops for €6.99 or £5.99. So as you can see from the details and from the screenshots, it looks like a very interesting graphically, and looks like it's hand drawn. Not 100% sure on that, but looks pretty cool. Also, the required space is 1.8 gigabytes. What was interesting to me is that when I started to download this, it took about 30 minutes to download. And one of the other things that I didn't notice that will come up later is that this is a handheld only mode game. I was looking at it right here just now and just didn't even notice it. And as you can probably tell, I played this game and I'm just narrating it now. But due to time constraints, I'll make it easy on everybody and just do instead of waiting 30 minutes for the game to be downloaded, it's downloaded. So let's open it up and get started. If you've seen any of my other reviews, then you know that I like to play around with what's in the menu. So first, let's take a look at what's in the challenges. Again, we're seeing some of the achievements that you can see in a Nintendo game or a game that is coming to the Nintendo console. So there's quite a few to look at here and to achieve. And while I was playing this game, I seen a few icons pop up that showed that I received that achievement. So it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool to see more and more games have more and more achievements. The art gallery unlocks as you play the game. And of course you have your settings to where you can change the languages or adjust the volumes for various areas.
You are born. What are you? You shouldn't be alive. You will never escape from this place. This is not a game. Where are you going? You are part of this place. Nothing can forsake the void. You don't belong out there. You have escaped from the void. Now you are in the world. These small lights will forgive your mistakes.
This is where you'll start seeing some of the save points throughout the game. And they come in handy, especially when you're learning your new magic, if you will. or your new skills. And you have to avoid that.
The void must be won. You cannot escape from it.
Kind of reminded me of some of those side-scrolling Mario levels where you had to get through the level as it kept moving.
Leap of faith.
So the Frozen Cliffs is the first level, or the first world, and there's multiple levels within each world.
Don't worry, we're safe for now. Even if you change your shape to match this world, you are still an outcast.
I like the little animations for this guy, especially depending on which world you're in.
You will need more momentum to jump here. This is a beautiful place, but it's not for you.
There's similar things here or in other worlds where you, before you get a skill, it tells you that you need that skill in order to move on. It's just me exploring. And we see a flower. This is where you usually gain your new skill, is from these types of flowers. In this particular case, it's a blue flower. It's kind of, the blue flower signifies the blue skill or cold or ice skill that you get.
It's not an object or being, it's a property. Everything can have a color. Even you. You are about to learn something new.
And I certainly did learn something new, because I wasn't paying attention when I first started playing this game to what was required to play this game as far as controllers go. It's handheld only. So that meant that I had to take my Switch out of the dock in order to continue to play it. So unfortunately, that means I have to take this out of the dock and play it some more just so I could give you guys a review of the game. Because I won't be able to show you the rest of it from here. So I'll show you some screenshots or some available GIFs that I found. Also in the background is some of the soundtrack that I was able to grab as well, which is actually available to download if you really like the soundtrack, which I actually did. But here are some of the elements that you can gain along the way when you go to each world. And each world will give you a different type of element. This one you can see is a certain kind of element. This is an overview of the worlds. There's about 5 altogether. First one being the Frozen Cliffs, where you get the ice one. Then you have the Living Forest, where you get the bouncing green element. Then there's the Ash Desert, where you get the sticky element. Then there's the Volcano world, where you get the red element or fire element. And then you go to the city, where you get the electricity element, which I thought was really cool. Which kind of brings us back to this. The flower. As I mentioned before, the flowers give you your new skills. This particular example is from the blue one, from the Frozen Cliffs. There will be a green, brown, red, and yellow. And when you gain each skill, you go into each of these dream worlds. And the dream worlds help you practice to use that new skill and then apply it back on the land that you were just in. Again, there were 5 areas, and then you're able to, once you beat each area or each world and all the levels within the world, then you move on to the next. After you beat all 5 areas, then you actually can unlock a 6th area, if you will, or actually it opens up the void, essentially. Without giving away too much in case you want to play it, you get to replay these levels, but on a harder level, essentially. Overall, how long to beat says that it takes about 2.5 hours to beat the main story, or 4 hours for the main plus extras, or for completionists it's 10 hours. I actually beat the game and made it to the void, or unlocked the harder thing after a few hours of playing it. It just took me a couple days over the weekend to do it, especially so I can come back and let you guys know how the game is. I think this game is actually pretty good, especially for $7.99. I think it builds on the platforming elements that you gain throughout each level, starting with the frozen cliffs, and then taking it from there, building on it from there. It does get a little bit harder and harder, but not too difficult. There are some points where it does get a tad bit difficult or challenges you, but overall I think it's a pretty easy game and can be done quickly. The real challenge is going to come up when you open up the void, when you open up that additional hard setting. That's where your challenges will become greater. Did you really learn all the skills that you learned, and can you apply it quickly? I had a hard time applying it with using the Joy-Con and the touch controls or the touchscreen, but hopefully you guys will do it better than I will. Overall, I think this game was a lot of fun, and I wanted to see if my son will have a lot of fun with it. He's 10 years old, and if you listened before, I've had him on before, but I think he'd be interested in this, and hopefully I'll see what he thinks and maybe attach it as a comment later. But thanks again for listening, and hopefully you can make a decision from this review. Let me know what you think, and check you later.
You were born from the void, but it is coming to get you. The void must be won. You cannot escape from it. Learning new colors. Traveling around the world. It makes you grow up. It makes you want to live. Being chased. Condemning the world you leave behind. It makes you feel terribly guilty. Soon nowhere will be safe. It will never stop. It will never die.